Alright, for this video I am going to try to remain focused on one topic since I got all of that stuff out of my system. But basically, my, I guess, theme statement would be that God or the universe still guides me and loves me and still wants me here. And the reason that I say that is through my anguish yesterday and the way that I was treated, um, like Nikki or those ghetto people say, with shade. I was treated shadily. Um, I became very angry and upset and maybe a little distraught. And so I started, trying to find like pacifiers, things to kind of um, soothe my spirit and kind of get me away from the negative feelings that I was feeling. So I happened across this app called Facts. Just random facts. I don't know if they're true or not. One of the facts that was listed was that mentally being ignored can drive you crazy. And I questioned that because I was like, really? You know? But the thing about it that I didn't think about is that normally with being ignored for the majority of my life, I've been on the giving side of that. And it never occurred to me that I could possibly be on the receiving side. And so I realized yesterday for the first time a moment of true realization in the time of want or need that I indeed was being ignored and disrespected. So, that being said, that quote or that random fact was thrown out there to me, but I was like, is that really true? Can you really um, go crazy from being ignored? I was, in my mind, I'm just like, prove it. I want to see some cases where people have actually gone crazy or lost their mind from being ignored. So I looked it up. And like I said, God or somebody out there loves me because they were trying to, let me know that maybe, my ass is going off the deep end now. So what I did was, so I Googled, of course, um, being ignored can make you crazy, whatever like that, because I wanted to see, you know, and that's my problem. I have too much curiosity. Oh, it's not here, but that's okay. It might be in the history. Um, and so when I looked that up, somehow through the process of me going to different links, I came across, and it was easy. It was like 1, 2, 3. I saw the factoid. I Googled it, and then this website came up, and it says the 48 Laws of Power, law number 36. And like I said, this is before, in the back in the day, I used to, when I needed guidance and I didn't know it, I would just pop open the Bible, and whatever page it would fall to would actually be something that was edifying for me. So that's what happened here. The internet, I, went to go look for some soothing intentionally, found this little factoid. Didn't know if I agreed with it, so I looked it up to research to see if people indeed, there were instances where people indeed went crazy from being ignored. And I came across this website. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't like I had to dig too deep. It's like God put that in front of me to spark that curiosity. Then He tried to put something else to help me. So I'm gonna read this internet article. And so, like I said, he put that factoid to spark curiosity, and then it was like he was trying to tell me, hey, you, my friend, are crazy. You need to watch that shit. So, the article is entitled "The 48 Laws of Power," and it goes on about Law 36, and it says, disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. It says, by acknowledging a petty problem, you give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you make him. And a small mistake is often made worse and more visible when you try to fix it. It is sometimes best to leave things alone. If there is something you want but cannot have, show contempt for it. The less interest you reveal, the more superior you seem. Make the right choices. 1. You choose to let things bother you. You choose not to notice the irritating offender. And I think it says, supposed to be, you choose not to let things bother you. You choose not to notice the irritating offender. 2. The most important move is to consider the matter trivial and unworthy of your interest. What you do not react to cannot drag you down in futile engagement. 3. Your pride is not involved. The best lesson you can teach an irritating gnat is to consign it to oblivion by ignoring it. Yes, that's true. 4. If it is impossible to ignore, then conspire in secret to do away with it. Never inadvertently draw attention to the bothersome insect that will go away on its own. 5. If you waste time and energy in such entanglements, it is your own fault. Learn to play the card of disdain and turn your back on what cannot harm you in the long run. It goes on to say, when you pay attention to a person, the two of you become partners of sorts, each moving in step to the actions and reactions of the other. In the process, you lose your initiative. It is a dynamic of all interactions. By acknowledging other people, even if only to fight with them, you open yourself to their influence. By ignoring people, you can cancel them out. This unsettles and infuriates them, but since they have no dealings with you, there is nothing they can do. The offensive aspect of the law. Playing the card of contempt is immensely powerful, for it lets you determine the conditions of the conflict. The war is waged on your terms. This is the ultimate power pose. You are the king or queen, and you ignore what offends you. Watch how this tactic infuriates people. Half of what they do is to get your attention. And when you withhold it from them, they flounder in frustration. Desire often creates paradoxical effects. The more you want something, the more you chase after it. The more it eludes you, the more interest you show, the more you repel the object of your desire. Opposing law of attraction. Desire often creates paradoxical effects. The more you want something, the more you chase after it, the more it eludes you. The more interest you show, the more you repel the object of your desire. The more interest you show, the more you repel the object of your desire. This is because your interest is too strong. It even makes people feel awkward and even fearful. Okay? Uncontrollable desire makes you seem weak, unworthy, and pathetic. You need to turn your back on what you want. Show your contempt and disdain. This is the kind of powerful response that will drive your targets crazy. They will respond with a desire of their own, which is simply to possess you, perhaps to hurt you. Has that happened? If they want to possess you, you have successfully completed the first step of seduction. If they want to hurt you, you have unsettled them. And made them play by your rules. If choosing to ignore enhances your power, it follows that the opposite approach, commitment and engagement, often weakens you. Sounds like I'm my own kryptonite. By paying undue attention to a puny enemy, you look puny. And the longer it takes you to crush such an enemy, the larger the enemy seems. Remember, the powerful responses to nagging, to petty annoyances and irritations are contempt and disdain. The most powerful responses to nagging, petty annoyances, and irritations are contempt and disdain. Never show that something has affected you. or that you are offended. That only shows you have acknowledged a problem. Contempt is a dish that is best served cold and without affection. True story, y'all.